many reports, well-sourced reporting, on tensions between Sitole and the National Police Commissioner, Khehla. But asked on the relations between them during the release of the third quarter crime statistics last week, Sitole said he respects the minister.
And when things are clarified, nothing is personal. And nothing is about anyone. It's more about subs and it's more about the country. And we put the country's interest at heart. And I also want to further indicate that, as the minister explains, to me, from a career corps perspective, he always remains the minister, no matter what he says and what he does. And from a discipline's point of view, I can never disrespect him.
Well, let's get more reaction to this now, this decision by mutual agreement to terminate Sitole's contract. Joined by the independent security analyst, author of the book, Can We Be Safe? The Future of Policing in South Africa, Ziyanda Stuurman. Ziyanda, good afternoon to you. Is this the right move by the President to remove the police commissioner?
Good afternoon, Stephen. I think that's a really interesting question because it can be answered, I think, on two different levels. So firstly, is this the right decision by the President? Particularly for himself and politically speaking, yes. This provides the perfect opportunity for the President and the police commissioner, the police minister, Khehla, to essentially hand over, I think, a lot of blame for high unrest and many other issues within the police to Khehla Sitole, which is what I believe, at least, the police minister has been trying to do for many months now, particularly since the unrest. Is this a good move for the President operationally or in terms of the function of the police? I don't necessarily think so. I think that there should have been a board of inquiry, into Sitole's fitness to hold his office, and that would have been at least procedurally, the correct thing to do. But looking at it from a political standpoint, I think both the police minister and the President at this point stand to gain from the police commissioner's removal.
You make an excellent point about procedure and how important that would be. It would take a long time, though. I think many people would feel we don't have the time. We need to start reforming the police service now.
I agree with that 100%. But I think that we're also in a stage where Khehla Sitole is now one of many police commissioners who have not seen their term to its full end. We've had multiple commissioners, including Ria Khehla himself, and Jackie Slebe being removed from office, a really important office. And I think that if we're ever going to rebuild trust, both in the way that our police service is governed, but in the police commissioner as an office and as a position itself, we should actually give people and those office holders the opportunity to defend themselves and say, this is what I did while I was in office. This is where you may agree with me. This is where you might not. But unfortunately, that position has become more and more politicized as years have gone on. And at this point, there's an incredibly unstable revolving door in that position. And many may even call it a poison chalice.
Well, we need to stop that door from turning around and make it into a much more traditional in-and-out door. How do we do that? Does the next National Police Commissioner, should that be a person who's a career police officer, or should it be someone who's an outsider? We've tried both of those in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think that that then speaks to the fact that it isn't necessarily about the nature of the position itself. It's more about the nature of the relationship between both the President but also the police minister and the National Police Commissioner. And this is really to say that it's not just about Khehla and Khehla Sitole's relationship. It really has to do with the two officers and how they see their own functions, but also how they relate to each other. So I believe at least that the position of National Police Commissioner should be insulated from politics as far as humanly possible, and that the political head of the police service, that of course being the police minister, shouldn't feel like they have room to interfere in the function of the operational sort of duties of the police. Until we can get that fine balance correct, I think anybody that we shuffle into either of those two positions are going to find it extremely difficult to work both with each other, but within the confines of those systems.
I would imagine also it just takes a lot more than replacing one person at the top. I must say, though, that one person at the top can set a certain tone for change.
Precisely. And you know, we saw that with Bheki Cele himself when he was police commissioner. He took a far more sort of proactive, very kind of populist line in his work as, at that time, the operational head of the police. And that really set a tone for the way that police officers saw themselves. It set a tone for institutional culture. And very much, I think what that really comes down to is that the job of police commissioner, as well as of the 9 provincial police commissioners, are really important in really setting an example of what good police work is, first of all, but also what good operational leadership of the police forces, given the fact that there are over 180,000 people who are employed in the police service on very many different levels. And it's not just about, you know, the top cop, but all of the, or at least the systematic culture within the SAPS.
Ziyanda Stuurman, for your time at short notice, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.